Welcome to the latest edition of Mark to Mark. We are here, we are live in the studio, and we have quite a bit to talk about. We don't have Principal with us, but the two Marks are here, so just brace for it. We have got football to talk about, lots of football, both Ugandan and international. But we also have a lot of other sports to talk about. We've got athletics, we've got basketball, we've got golf, we've got predictions. So it's quite the menu. And we'll dive straight into it. I've got Mark Damanya with me. I'm Mark Sally. And Mark, let's start with AFCON 2027. It's been a topic that we've discussed for the last 2 years, non-stop. Virtually every episode of Mark to Mark has got something to do with AFCON 2027. And that's because East Africa is hosting Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. And we are under pressure right now to get ready because we've got just over a year before kickoff. Kickoff that has not been postponed as was anticipated by a few because the CAF president has said the show must go on. You were this week part of a meeting that was trying to ensure that Uganda actually is ready, that we play our part and will be set by kickoff next June. What happened in this meeting?
Yes, what happened? I'll run you through it very quickly. The first lady called a meeting, which involved all the MDAs that are involved in the organization of AFCON 2027. So you had the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, you had Uganda Tourism Board, you had KCCA, you had members from the Ministry of Health, you had people from the Attorney General's office, you had people from the Solicitor General's office, you had just about each and everyone who's going to be part, Ministry of Works and Transport, General Katumbo Amala, and several other dignitaries who are there because Mama wanted the team to convene and then address directly the questions which are going to be asked of us in as far as organizing AFCON 2027 is concerned, because you cannot leave this to the local organizing committee. If there are roads to be constructed, that's the Ministry of Works. If we're going to have water, National Sewage Corporation must explain to us what is required for all the water that is needed to be available in all the parts that are going to be organizing AFCON 2027. You had the Minister of Health, because health is a very, very vital aspect of any organization at any time, any place, anywhere. And then you had the Civil Aviation Authority, because there is work which is ongoing at Kabalega International Airport. They're supposed to be building a passenger terminal. And if they succeed in doing that, then it can maybe get the rating that is required for it to qualify as international. And then you can have international flights landing there, and the teams which will be based in Hoima actually landing directly in Hoima without having to come to Entebbe. Or for some rich people who will be flying charters and private jets, they can be flying there directly without having to come to Entebbe. So it was a very good meeting.
Very good meeting. So what were the decisions on the roads, on the hotels? You've just told us about the airport. The roads, the hotels, the stadiums, the training grounds. What are the decisions? What are the timelines?
Yeah, so the timelines, because we only have 9 months. We're actually behind schedule because everything must be done by Jan 2027. So works on Nambole, the few issues which must be redone around Hoima City Stadium, the road networks in Hoima and in Kampala, work on the Uganda railways, and then the hospitals, especially in Hoima. So we're working with a deadline of Jan 2027. So there won't be emergency procurements. Of course, the Attorney General was there to give legal guidance on how some of the things must be done without necessarily circumventing the law. Some of them will be done outside of the normal PPDA rules and regulations. But in the end, I think it was a very successful meeting, a very fruitful meeting. And I think when all the MDAs are working together with the guidance and supervision of the First Lady, who is the Minister of Education and Sports, and the chairperson of the LOC, I think our preparations are in a much better place than they were before that meeting on Tuesday. So AFCON 2027, I think the ball has gotten rolling. And by the way, it's not only in Uganda, even in Kenya and Tanzania, CAF is demanding of all the 3 countries to be at par, because remember, if one country is not at pace, they can easily.
They can still take it away. What are the alternative venues? Should East Africa lose this?
Well, they just suspects. If it's not Morocco, it's going to be Egypt or South Africa. They can't really have good infrastructure. Or
Yes.
because they have everything in place. They don't have to build training facilities. They have the hotels and so on.
No.
But that's not going to happen, Mark.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get there. So,
Well,
where are we on the money and the contractors for all of this work? Where are we on the money and the contractors?
So for some of the
Do we have the money?
For some, the money is there. Yes, for some of the projects, contracts have been signed. I can tell you that UPDF, for instance, have already signed a contract to do the second phase of Nambole. The contracts have been signed with UPDF to do all the training facilities, both
Yeah.
in Kampala and in Hoima. I can tell you that in the next week is going to be very, very critical, Mark, because some of the decisions have got to be endorsed by cabinet, and once cabinet endorses them, which they'll do anyway, then you can be sure that work is going to get started in March, because even the Minister of Finance, Madia Kasaija, was present. So things are happening very, very fast, and contracts are going to be signed, and work is going to get started in the shortest time possible, where it hasn't started.
Yeah, okay. That's it's great to hear, because I still worry about things like the hotel space in Hoima, if it will pass CAF standards, and if actually even outside of CAF standards, if actually there will be enough space
I don't worry
to accommodate
the reason I don't worry about,
visitors from 4 different
the
countries.
reason I don't worry about that, Mark, is because you and I have been to AFCONs. I was in Gabon. Uganda played Mali in a city called Bitam, in OEM, because AFCON was hosted in Franceville, Libreville, the capital city, Port Gentil, and OEM. OEM is a rich man's Kamoli district. I think actually Kamoli is actually, no, Kamoli is, that's rating it highly. OEM is worse. I think it's like Rubunjiri, where I come from, because there was nothing. We struggled for accommodation, Mark. They built a fantastic stadium, and that's it. There's nothing else. It's actually a scandal that OEM was considered, because they had a good stadium in OEM, fantastic stadium, but there's nothing else. There's no accommodation, there was no roads, there was nothing. When I look at Hoima is 100 times better than OEM. So it may not be a Fes or a Tangier or a Marrakesh,
Yeah.
but it has some hotels.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, man.
And remember, because there's a big hotel which will be staying, which a team which will be based in Masindi, there's some hotels in Masindi which will be upgraded, Mark. So Masindi will have a training facility and a hotel. And Masindi, which is very close to Hoima, is going to offset some of the load in terms of the human traffic, which was going to be shouldered by Hoima. So I think
that should be okay. When you say that, I mean, every time I go to Hoima over the last 2-3 years, I stay at HB Hotel.
Yeah.
And the rooms in there are so much better than anything I've had in West Africa, except in Ghana.
Yeah.
And I've been to all of West Africa.
Last week, the Minister of Education
I believe you when you say that we should be okay.
The hotel owners I had a meeting with hotel owners from Hoima and Masindi, and that meeting also involved the Uganda Development Bank as well as UTB. So there are a lot of high-level discussions which are ongoing, and I'm happy that the powers that we have understood and appreciated the gravity of the hotel issue, because at the end of the day, the teams, officials, and delegations and funds, they must reside somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kampala is okay.
If they can work on HB and touch up Kabalega Resort as well as Mika Echo, we should be fine.
Yeah.
And then, of course, something in Masindi.
Yeah.
Then we should be okay. I mean, with Kampala, no need for discussion on the hotels. They are as good as anything you'll find anywhere in Africa.
And the fact of the matter, so let's be very honest. The identity of Uganda's Pamoja 2027 does not have to look like Morocco. It doesn't have to look like Ivory Coast. All those countries are very unique in their own ways. Like I shared here, Mark, there are strengths which Uganda has, and we must leverage on them, which Morocco does not have. We have fantastic weather. When we were in AFCON in Morocco, we were in winter.
Yeah, it was 3 layers of clothing. I mean, I could see what was going on. Yeah.
Food. Uganda is a food basket of Africa. So we have our strength, which we must build on, and we must sell our country according to the strength we have. We do not have to Xerox what the Moroccans are doing.
No,
We cannot be like Morocco.
no, it's going to be the greatest party Africa has ever seen. Of that, I'm sure.
And of course, the nightlife is incomparable.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Yeah, of that I'm very sure. And by the way,
And with the things which come along with it. So Uganda is
oh yeah, and the visitors. Yeah, in case you have any questions, Mark to Mark is the first stop. We have quite the experience, if you like.